Ah, I love me some Kendrick.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tells podcast. You can find us everywhere you find podcasts. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on Wednesday night.
Is
Ready
it
to do some
Wednesday? I don't know. The
podcasting.
days stop blending together.
It's Wednesday.
Okay.
I'll check. We're live on a Wednesday night, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you find podcasts. Official weapon of the show is
The taser.
and the unofficial sport.
Bullet ball.
A bullet ball, extreme. Lots of stuff to get into today. Okay, all kinds of news and whatnot. Don't forget our sale is still going on for the Blackout Tips Premium. The coronavirus sale till the 15th. We got 12 more days. Don't be last minute. I hate when people email me on the 16th like, oh, is the sale over? Nigga, we've been saying it for 20 days. Okay.
Yes, it is. And the computer is gonna be like, nope.
Yeah, so come on, y'all. If you're gonna do it, be about it. All right, let's talk about the news. All right, news is happening. 10 charges have been dropped against Trey Songz in a bowling alley attack. Singer must take 12 anger management courses. This man, Trey Songz. I'm trying to think if there's anything scarier than being in an establishment and Trey Songz walk in now.
It's time to go.
Yeah, because you know when they was like, hey, you can't be beating people up at the bowling alley, you gotta get out of here.
But if the nigga cut me off, I'm going to fuck crazy, you understand?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't cut me off. Don't do it. Don't cut me off. Don't do it.
That's my jam right there. I don't care.
I just feel like everywhere he goes, man. He pleaded guilty to one disorderly conduct violation in connection to the incident. The charges that were dismissed were assault and aggravated harassment. So yeah, supposedly he's already started the courses. Maybe that'll help him. Maybe that's the problem. All this time, you just need some anger management.
I hope it solves the problem.
I hope so. I mean,
I'll just say, like, I really do hope that
he's like lucky Chris Brown is the person that everyone hates.
Yeah, because he would definitely be on top of the list if it wasn't for Chris Brown.
Yeah, like on Earth 2 where Chris Brown didn't hit Rihanna, didn't beat up Rihanna. Everybody's like, Trey Songz, why does people work with him? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else is happening. This is interesting. I saw it going around Twitter. Eboni K Williams telling the Iyanla Vanzant that she wouldn't date a bus driver causes chatter.
Oh, that's who she was talking to. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, an attorney admitting that she wouldn't date a bus driver unless he owned the bus is causing a commotion among people who think she's too picky and others who think she has a right as a successful woman to that personal dating preference. My favorite part about this is if you're on her side, you're saying she has a right as a successful woman, like how we determine what is success.
Right.
Well, what you're saying is like, if she wasn't what we feel, if she wasn't an attorney, she better date that bus driver. The bus driver
better take whatever dick she can get.
Yeah, the bus driver dating discourse is now expanding into a wider discussion on Black women being urged to lower their standards when picking partners. The Grio's Eboni K Williams recently hosted a special one-on-one interview with Iyanla Vanzant centered around femininity and masculine energy versus feminine energy. Already you're treading in some, like I would say a lot of the stuff about this conversation is so cis-het normative. It's so exclusionary by nature. It just kind of has to be. It's so generalized. It doesn't really make way for any human being's uniqueness and individuality. And it's one of the reasons we don't do dating conversations here. Really, we don't really do a lot of relationship talk in general.
Nope, because everybody is projecting.
Yeah, and also everyone's an individual.
Correct.
I don't think the stuff I say would apply to everyone. I think it's either the height of like arrogance or just, you kind of grifter, kind of like it's a hustle. This is how you make your money. So you just say things that generally apply, but they don't really generally apply. And people kind of project onto them and cherry pick onto them. And then, they fuck with you. But I personally don't like, even having the conversation is already a little bit like, how you going to have this conversation for real?
Right.
During the discussion, Ayanla spoke out against the masculine aggressiveness that some Black women exude while dating. See already. It's killing us, said Van Zant, who previously said that women are being trained to be men in skirts.
What?
This whole conversation was problematic. Williams, 39, then went into detail how she personally exudes masculine energy, but said she feels she doesn't have a choice. I've yet to have a male energy that provided and protected me consistently ever. I think that I have taken on the reins to provide and protect for myself, because what I'm not going to do, Ayanla, is be without protection and be without the necessities of life. But I say that with an invitation, Ayanla, check me, show me the error of my ways, show me how I might be missing, because I might be. Ayanla then went into detail about how she is also an alpha woman and recalled being a terrible mother, but a great father to her children because of the masculine energy she exuded before course correcting. She also said that Black women need to learn to create and lean into their authentic power. I'm still very alpha, but I'm in my throne and my crown is straight, said Ayanla. I don't even know what niggas is he talking.
That statement made no
That's the like
sense.
New York podcaster equivalent of that's a bar right there. You just dropped it. Say that again. Say that again. I said, I'm still very alpha, but I'm in my throne and my crown is straight. They don't hear you, son. Like that's what's missing from that. He just dropped a gem on y'all. Y'all didn't even understand what he's doing right now. Say it one more time. Eboni K Williams brought up statistics before Ayanla asked if she would date a bus driver. So in particular, she noted that Black women are earning college degrees at a faster rate than anyone else and are also earning terminal degrees while also being the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs aside Latinas.
What's a terminal degree?
I don't know.
I know that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She wouldn't date me because I don't know what that means, Karen.
Apparently.
Okay, right now. Terminal degree is used primarily in the U.S. Refers to the highest academic degree that can be awarded in a particular field.
Oh, like a doctorate?
Whatever it is in that field, I guess. Yeah, so Williams also pointed out that women are out earning men in 22 of the largest cities in America. And with that, wondered how we can position ourselves in our divinity when some men are not in a position to protect nor provide. So then that led to this viral question. Okay. I think I have the audio. Let me see.
I know that you've said.
Oh, wait, actually, let me put it on screen. Might be easier that way. Boom. Oh, great. Is it showing Instagram now? It should be.
Yes.
Okay.
You cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it, if he owns the bus,
that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Okay.
Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus.
I know that you.
Okay, so I guess that is what made it go viral.
Yeah, it's all types of problems, you know, from the fact that, you know, the way you started off the whole conversation, you know, to, you know, it basically, for people listening, everybody's going to be projecting, and it basically turned into a man bashing fest. And so, like you said, that's that gender war shit, you know, tell women how they need to, you know, like it's certain phrases and words that sound almost like you said like a standard or this is the definite definition of whatever this is, and that's not always true. And also it's one of those things where there's nothing wrong with men playing video games and sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
you know, I'll joke aside, like a lot of people do that as a kind of a dig at men, like they're just quote unquote being lazy. But we're in a generation now where for some people that's how a nigga make money, by sitting on the chair all day playing video games. You might not understand that. So, you know,
yeah, I think the thing for all of this stuff to me is whatever you say as a preference or a standard is essentially discrimination. Now, I'm not saying you're not required to discriminate. I think dating is very discriminatory, but it doesn't align with our public like stances on discrimination and stuff. We are very hypocritical when it comes to dating with the way we talk about it. If you listen to people, it's the people that hate classism won't date a blue collar worker. You know what I mean? So do you know, is classism, are you really against classism? Not really. You know what I mean? Because on some level you believe there's something integral to that person that is missing. Because you didn't say it was even about money. You said it was about the type of job. And if he owned the bus that he was driving, you would feel differently. So it's not even the occupation of like it's not the money, it's the occupation essentially.
Correct.
Like, you know, to me, this is a rebrand of LLC Twitter type shit.
Yes.
And because it's a black woman saying it, you have the gender war happening of black men attacking the black woman, black women defending the black woman, whether they actually have even stopped to think if they truly believe it. And why do they believe it? And why is it okay? Because to me, I'm always going to go to flipping the gender. To me is always how I can tell if like, that's how I keep myself in alignment. If I'm like, okay, so if you flip this, do I feel the same about it? And to me, the flip gender of this is all the men that say like they wouldn't date a woman of a certain physical type, weight, skin color,
yes sir, hair color,
also
texture,
occupation stuff.
Yes, they
and
do.
Also you know, working class and stuff. And to me, I always find those dudes to be some of the worst fucking people on the earth.
Yes.
Like I always just feel like that, like the way you're broadcasting that really just is to let us know I'm a piece of shit. You know, people that, you know, laugh when Kevin Samuels died would feel the need to like defend her. But to me, it's like kind of the same vein of quote unquote tough love. And the reason I go to this tough love thing is because later on, she actually went on the griot and like doubled down. And this is where we're going to get to the tough love part, because, you know, right now I feel like those comments, while not that well kind of thought out to me, it's kind of vulnerable, it's kind of honest. A lot of us can probably relate to where Ebony's coming from on some level, because every single human being got preferences. They got shit that that you probably shouldn't tell other people, which is where you really got in trouble. But you have some shit, I don't know what it is, and you listening to this right now, you got something. I don't know what it is. You know, you got a thing you like, which means you got a thing you don't like. You got a type of person you like, which means there's a type of person that you ain't feeling.
Right.
You got a person you give a chance versus a person you wouldn't. Every single person's been rejected. Every person's done some rejecting.
Yes.
So, and it could be surface level, it could be deep, whatever. There's so many extenuating circumstances, and people are insecure. They're hearing these things and they're latching on to them. I remember when Kendrick Lamar said that line about show me something natural like Afro and Richard Pryor, show me something natural like asses or stretch marks. And people were like, you piece of shit. So you saying you wouldn't go after a woman that had like a BBL? It's like, well, if that's his fucking opinion, that's his fucking opinion. Right. And if we're keeping it a buck, that's what people been asking for, there to be somebody that had that opinion. And he gave it and got shut down. And I was like, okay, so the real crutch of all this is don't be expressing no preferences. Right. Because you're always saying in the background, I don't prefer this person. And all these people like them. And of course, people hit dogs gonna holler. People don't like that. Whether it's your right or not, you broadcasted it. So here's her kind of like I've heard you. Here's my retort to what y'all have been saying about me.
So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of Black men when I said what I said. But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and Black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of Black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. No, I will not create a soft place for you or anybody that I love to fall comfortably into the bigotry of low expectations. So I'm gonna say one more time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with driving a bus. My mother Gloria drove one for years. But could it be that Black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. And in this case, it takes the form of conditioning Black Americans to happily accept being a permanent American underclass. But see, because I know the truth about Black folk in America, no, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
What?
Okay, we have to end the writer strike now, because if this is what's happening on TV with no writers, because I can only assume no one looked at this statement and said, ma'am, this need to make sense. This need to like have a logical through line. There's a lot of jumping all over the place. There's a Venn diagram of you assuming that everyone who disagrees with you is also a certain type of person. There's a lot going on there, and a lot of defensiveness happening. I honestly, like, you need like a couple writers to just at least an editor. Come on, Grill, what's going on over there? Is it because of the strike? It is kind of, the strike did start 2 days ago, so maybe she just didn't have the ability to have somebody come in and be like, yeah, so this makes no sense. Because to me, that made no sense
at all.
Yeah, like, and it's that catch-22, because like it's white supremacy to tell her to lower her standards. I agree. That is like if you're saying it because she's Black, if that's why you're saying it. It is also white supremacy to say somebody as a blue collar person is simply not good enough, must have got C's and D's in their report card, must have been coddled by their parents, must not have achieved in life. The bigotry of lower expectations is like a super wild way to like throw that out, because I don't think people were saying like a bus driver is a low like there's just a lot of fucking classism throughout what she's saying, and there's a lot of classism in dating conversations in general. Like it don't matter how woke you are, it's your classism shows when you're talking about who you're not gonna date. You know, it's just, it is what it is. I remember I just wrote this line down. I was like, had it in my notepad, but it was like something to the effect like, she's a socialist that don't date broke niggas. like I get it. Don't nobody want to date broke niggas to be essential, but we don't want to admit it to in our politics of like, yeah, that's me looking down on the type of person and the hardship they experience. And once you extrapolate that to other things, it gets fucking ugly. It gets really fucking ugly. And if you're not interrogating yourself, if you're not, if you're getting too worried about being defensive than being like self-interrogating, then that's what you look like. And absolutely, if some dude said this shit, everybody be on the opposite sides. And I mean everybody. The dudes who are saying black women, that's the problem with y'all. If some black man was out here saying, if Mark Lamar Hill was on his show saying he wouldn't date a woman that was a bus driver, but he'd date one that owned a bus, a lot of those men would be on his side. Because it's really about the hatred of black women for some of those dudes. And for some of the women, it's the support of a black woman, even when she's saying something wrong. It's like, I need to support her because her expressing something that I honestly find distasteful in any other area of life, I need to look like I got her back.
Yes. And that's where it breaks down to the gender wars. Like, lines have been drawn, and it's one of those things where we kind of talked about this before, and I still feel like this. A lot of it is your personal preference, and everybody has personal preferences. But when you put these personal preferences out in the open, you cannot control how people are going to respond to your personal preferences. And they have the right to judge. They have the right to say, well, I wouldn't do that, because you put it on a public platform. And the thing is, you either got to do two things. You either got to be like, I said what I said and stand up in it. Or either you got to be like, okay, I'm going to back down. Well, and it's a third choice. You cannot just not respond.
I think she would have been better off not responding. And I think the problem with this is she's not really saying I said what I said and standing up in it. She starts using this buzzword shit of macro causes. Like, we were talking about a micro situation, her dating life and what it means to her. Fine. You told it to the world and the world didn't like it. To me, you could just easily go back and be like, well, I still feel how I feel. I'm not dating a bus driver. Nobody can make me. And everybody had to go, I don't like that she said that. I think she's kind of mean for that or whatever. But it's her life. It's her right. And the end of it. The same way if some fucking man says I don't date women under 100 pounds or over 100 pounds or whatever. Okay, he stood by that. He said it. He don't seem to give a fuck what we believe and that is fat phobic or whatever. And he'll find him a queen that agrees with that shit, and they'll be happy together, I guess. Or she'll gain weight and they'll get divorced. Who gives a fuck? Not my life, just that one person.
All right.
I think when you make the defense, and this is one of my problems I had with Kevin Samuels too, when your defense turns into this macro shit of, I'm trying to uplift black people. No, the fuck you ain't. No, you're not.
Because this was an individual thing.
Yeah, and like, honestly, dog, no offense, but one pussy ain't never fitting to be aspirational to the world. Like every bus driver in the world supposed to be like, well, I can't get with Eboni K Williams. I don't motherfucking get my life together. I got to own this bus. Like, that's crazy. Like that is crazy to say. Like, I'm using my platform of my pussy, of my dating life, of my sex, whatever, of coming to attain me, of dating me. I'm using my ability to date people to uplift the race. Is you need writers. You just needed someone to be like, Ebony, what are you really saying? Because I know that's not it. You're not walking around thinking black people need to do better and it's black men will do better just specifically to get with you. Are you gonna fuck them all? Like it doesn't make sense to me. And I think it went from a place of and maybe it's her haters and the people that detracted made her go to this place. Yeah, because I feel like it went from a place that almost every human being can understand, which is dating is a little bit ugly.
Yes, it's messy.
It's a little bit ugly. It's very contradictory to our public selves in many cases. Mm-hmm. And you may say some shit or behave in a way that isn't really something you should advocate by and large.
Right.
So what I mean, like, for example, if you decided you're not dating anybody who has kids, You can say that out loud to the world. If you think no one's gonna get hit by you saying that, no one's gonna say something back, you're crazy.
Right.
Somebody's always gonna be hurt by that. Someone's always gonna be like, well, fuck you too then. You know, it's just life.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You didn't have to let us know that. This is not your dating profile. Now, I don't know what she does at degree or whatever, you know, so maybe this is like within her wheelhouse, but also like that's wild that's even like a thing that happens on your show, you know, that like let's you know let's make my dating life public record. Let's have a debate. Like, okay, good luck with that. But yeah, I think the shit just doesn't add up, and I think it's very offensive to people. I don't think anyone's trying to tell her she can't have her own standards.
No.
But I think her well, no, I shouldn't say anyone. Some people are always.
Right.
Same way that if someone says they don't date a certain type of people and then we just put all the obias and isms on them. You know what I mean? Unless we decided that those people are lower on the hierarchy, then we applaud you. So if someone says some shit like, I only date dark-skinned women from the South or whatever, we'll be like, that's fine to say. Because we've all decided that society looks down on those women. So if you say you only date them, we won't say shit to you.
Right.
You know, but that's still us bringing a lot of baggage to it. And we truly don't really know why that person does that. And we still don't really know what that means about the quality of their relationship, the quality of the kind of person they are that when they're dating you. We don't know shit about these people. They put it out here, and then we kind of extrapolate as we're doing right now as the internet is done. But I'm trying to go one level deeper and be like, a lot of this stuff is true for everybody.
Yes.
They just don't say it.
Yes.
And I don't see what is to be gained, honestly, by saying it. Because in a lot of cases, it's just your business. It's everybody got one set of genitals, maybe two at the most. You really don't have, you're not fucking the whole globe. It's really no point to broadcast this shit other than to start some shit.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, it's your personal preference. And like I said before, you put it out in the opening, people are going to have all these different opinions. People are going to have all these different things to say about it. And I think that everybody thinks they're an exception to the rules until they're not. Everybody thinks that they're special. Everybody thinks it would never happen to me. That's why it happens so frequently, because if everybody look at everybody else that's gone through this, but like, oh, I wouldn't do that. You would still have people that would do it, but it wouldn't be as many.
Right.
But everybody really thinks that I am so extra special that when I say these words, people would just have an understanding of where I'm coming from and will just completely agree with me.
No one,
and that's not a true statement.
Who has this worked out for?
Right.
No one who's ever expressed like these type of exclusionary, discriminatory personal preferences in dating, none of them have ever come out of this unscathed. It always ends up with someone getting hurt. The other thing I would say too is, because someone was, saying people were conflating, so much conflation of one's personal preference of what the masses should do. Yes, and that's like where you fuck up, because and this is one of my issues with a lot of these relationship guru type niggas, your Kevin Samuels and all these people. It turns into, this is what Black people need to do. No, man, that's what you want and what you want to do. I'm not bothered by it at all. If you want to be alone until you find the exact situation you want,
that's fine.
I hope it works out for you.
Yeah, you like it, I love it.
We've seen, like, to me, it's no different than the people that are like, I want to marry a virgin. I hope it works out for you. Like, maybe 20 years. The only thing for a lot of people that a relationship can be measured by is longevity, because we're on the outside looking in, so we don't know what the quality of the relationship is. And typically longevity is the thing that we go, well, I guess it worked out. So if you one of them people that like, I need me a virgin, I'm gonna get married. We're getting married. We've never had sex before. Cool. If we look back in 30 years, you got the house, the kids, the picket fence, all that shit, we're gonna be like, all right, cool. I guess it worked out. Even with all the misgivings people have about that. But it's when you say everybody need to marry a virgin, that's when people go, well, now hold up now. Who the fuck are you? And I think that's where she kind of got herself in high water. And she seemed to be kind of defensive about it. It didn't seem like she was able to be like, that's just me. It was, and I want that for you too. It's like, well, hold on, what are you talking about?
Now why am I in it? That's
Yeah.
the first question.
Right.
And number two, she responding to a lot of those people online. And that's the thing that everybody gets caught up in these wars. After a while, it's not even the people that's responding reasonably, it's the people that's responding unreasonably,
Right.
and they all look the same.
Right. Yeah, and like I think people feel like, and it's your preference, it's your lottery ticket to spin, but everyone thinks there's like a secret formula. Right. And I keep always feeling like it's luck and work. You know, and I know that sometimes I have friends that are single that will get bothered, you know, because they'll talk to me about relationship stuff and they'll get a little bit bothered by the fact that I'm like, well, some of it's just luck. And I'm not trying to say it to dismiss them.
Right.
I'm saying it because I love you. I feel like you're a lovable person. People can, and I'm talking my friends right here. Like, I love you as a friend. I feel you're worthy of love.
Right.
So if you don't have it, I'm not going to say you did something wrong.
Right.
I'm not going to say you need to change. That to me is the real offensive thought. To me, what I'm saying is some of this shit is literally stupid, dumb luck.
Yes.
It's right place, right time. It's 8 billion fucking particles on the earth that are called human beings that keep bumping into each other
all the time.
And we don't know rhyme or reason. There's a lot of matchups that don't look like they would work on the surface, that work
forever,
that work for people. There's a lot of shit that look like a surface match, which we are all so surface dedicated. Look at these fucking shows we watch, the mockery we make of relationships and love. None of it's fucking real. It's all blind at first sight or whatever the fuck. Married at first love. You know, we took
love after the lockup.
Yeah, we took people that needed a green card and matched them up with abusive people that it's all bullshit the way we treat it. It's just another commodity. It's just content. It's just entertainment to most people. And love to me is like a very sacred thing that I don't really fuck with like that. And to me, it's not a joke. It's not, one of the reasons I don't watch those kind of reality shows, I can't do it. I get upset. I'm just like, this is bullshit. This is not love, and
you're making a mockery of it.
No one's gonna find it here. Y'all
right.
Don't actually care.
Nope.
You know, and so my point being, I would never tell somebody some broad sweeping, like, just do this or don't do that. And I think whatever your approach is, if it works out for you, then I guess you were right. So we look up and Eboni K Williams finds somebody that ain't a bus driver and they find. Hey, I guess it worked out for her.
Yeah,
it only becomes an issue when you start telling the rest of us, like, you got the secret fucking formula. Like, dog, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's a lot of happily married, bus driving ass niggas.
Ain't it though?
And don't nobody feel like
they got some of my family.
Got some good insurance, got good government jobs.
Come on.
And don't nobody
got that good health care.
Ain't nobody feeling shortchanged or cheated, but you know, whatever. And you know, the internal things that, you know, not to project onto her, but the kind of person that would say that makes you wonder internally where that comes from, because you associating working class jobs with low achievement in school, bad parenting, and what seems like maybe a little bit of embarrassment to be with somebody like that. Those are issues you need to work out in therapy. Those aren't our issues. We didn't start the programming for the show and say, talk about this. Like, you chose to go with a Yana and say this shit and then act like the victim in the situation. And if there were people, and I'm sure there were, being harsh to her, those people are foul for that shit too, because
yes, they are.
I guarantee you they're just as insecure. I think the reason you're lashing out at her is because you're insecure.
Right.
To be honest, like, I don't feel insecure in that type of way. So I'm not gonna like call this woman out of her name or tell her you need to lower your stand. Like, no, do you? What if you're happy like this? I love it for you. Cause like maybe you're happy being alone until the Prince Charming that owns his own bus comes along. Like, maybe that's her thing. You know, we don't have to accept it as like a call to like bring her in the same way I felt when Kendrick Lamar said that shit about stretch marks. It was like, yeah, if that's what if he happy, then he happy. I don't know.
Right. Same.
If that's what the fuck he want, like, I don't feel like I need to call him in for wanting something, you know. But once again, anytime you express a preference, you're saying something. I'm watching this anime called Vinland Saga, and there's in season 1 this priest who is like a Christian priest, and he is like he's like an alcoholic and all this stuff, and like he's captured by this army and stuff. And so there's like a prince that he's supposed to be the preacher, the spiritual guidance to this prince. And at some point the prince sits down with the priest, and the prince is starting to like grow into his own and realize he might need to start preparing to take the throne to be king and all this stuff. And so he asked he sees all this fighting in the world and all this violence and war. He's like, this is pointless. It's over, land and ruling and stuff, and people throwing their lives away. And the people that love fighting the battle, they're just letting themselves die and killing each other for what? Like all this loss of life for what? For me? This doesn't make sense. And at that point, the prince's right-hand man had been killed. And so the prince is like, my homie died. He was the last person on this earth that loved me. And the preacher goes, I wouldn't even call that love. And he was like, what would you call it? He died for me. He, rode for me. He always had my back. And the priest is like, that's not love. That's discrimination. And he says, love, and he points to like a person that is dead. He's like, love is death. He said, because right there, that person doesn't want anything anymore. They don't need anything. They can't discriminate. Death comes for us all, no matter who you are. And in his mind, he was like, God's love is death. Now it's some crazy dark shit to say, and I get that, but the point that it brought home to me is like, what we call love in most cases is a form of discrimination. It's you are better than everything else. You are better to me than everyone else. You are, whether by nature of our blood, location, the romantic feelings that we have towards each other. Our love is mostly discrimination. It is, I like the way you are more than I like the way other people are. And it's not equal. It's, when I see a stranger, I don't feel the same way about them that I would feel about my friends and my family and my wife and my, like that stuff. So the human version of love, and especially romantic love, is mostly discrimination. It's what other people aren't, not just, like by its nature. And the more you love that one person, the more discriminatory it has to be, right?
Come on, it's jealous.
Yeah, the way people love their kids, even like,
agreed.
You love your kid, you don't know these other motherfucking kids. You know what I mean? Like,
and a lot of people, they claim, but if push come to shove, and between your kids and them other kids, you're gonna be like, fuck them kids.
So I think on a deeper level, it almost never works out to express a preference or in this case, a discriminatory preference. It really doesn't work out for anybody, because I think at the core, that kind of love is just about slapping a bunch of other people in the face. And it's, I think it's just the nature of it. I don't think we can change it or anything, but that kind of, when you express that on a platform, there's always some motherfucker ready to get upset about it. If it's not, especially when you're talking about dating, like, if I say I love you, I don't think people get mad about that. We're together, we're married. But if I were to be like, I love a certain type of person, I think there would be people like, well, what about other types of people? And a lot of that then goes into hierarchical stuff, a lot of white supremacist stuff, misogyny, blah, blah, blah.
A lot of people, whenever you say a sweeping statement, it's always going to exclude somebody.
Right.
And a lot of times the people that are excluded are the people that go like, hey, dog, like, okay.
So that was a conversation that made me want to have. I didn't really give a fuck about her dating life and stuff. I just always think macro versus micro be kicking people's ass.
Because I can't tell the difference, and it normally all blends together.
Yeah, dog. I'm sorry, but
that's the small versus the big.
To me, I've heard something similar to that. I'm not saying it's as toxic as that and fucked up as that, but like that what she said is as fucked up and toxic, but a lot of these male relationship gurus, this is their reasoning. it's the exact same. I'm trying to uplift the black women by shitting on the black women.
Right.
It's that thing. You know, the statistics thing is very, very telling because the statistics often just depend on which ones you want to go by. Because if you want to go by employment, imprisonment, which we know is also a white supremacist byproduct, but if you want to go by those things, you're gonna be right. The numbers will always prove you right that black people are the worst of catch the worst of all the measurements that we decide matter in America, right? That's just because we came here as slaves. It ain't like one day we looked up and everything was just back to evil. We never got them reparations. So yeah, generational wealth wise, being a provider, STDs, incarceration, underemployment, all that stuff, getting degrees, blah, blah, blah. You're right. And where black women excel in those areas better than other people, nothing but love and props. But that's why you always catch these black relationship gurus that hate black women. They don't go to those degrees and shit. If anything, they'll use them degrees against you. They'll be like, you're going to be like Eboni K Williams, judging me for being a blue collar person, despite having overachieved with all this shit against me, right? So you already got them using that as a negative. But then they're going to start looking at childbirth rates and fucking like just a bunch of shit that's unfair too. Oh, you look what percentage of women got kids is not married. Look at what percentage of women who look at body weights. What's the BMI, the racist thing? BMI? Is that it? Look at this. You know, like they cherry pick their bullshit too. And it always just somehow ends up when black women ain't doing enough. And when you say, hey, that's fucked up and kind of racist, what do they say? I believe in black. I'm trying to help them up. I love my black queens. I'm saying they just need to do better. If they want to get a brother like me as a bus driver, you ain't gonna get with me. And it's just kind of crazy like that. And I think this just feels a little bit like the other side of that. And that's why I don't fuck with it.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to the next one. Loneliness is just as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes per day. That's an update from the thing we read the other day about the Surgeon General said, yo, we need to put out an advisory for the nation's loneliness epidemic.
Yeah, because that's a real thing. And the thing is, when it comes to loneliness, it's a lot that goes into that. Loneliness can just be connection, because with COVID, a lot of people lost connections. And some people haven't revised those connections. Some people, when the connections were lost, they just never reached out. So a lot of the connections, just friendships and shit just went to the wayside. A lot of people during COVID, a lot of people in their personality like touch, like their love language. I like to touch, I like to hug, I like to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that was lost during COVID.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you can't touch, you can't feel, you can't be around people, you can't feed off their energy like you used to. But some people, particularly if you have the people that are still very conservative when it comes to this COVID shit, a lot of them, they've changed some of their habits, but they're not full-fledged out here like COVID ain't never happened. They're like, nope, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to the movies. Or if I do, I go on off time. So guess what? You're not going to be around people, because instead of going on like the Fridays and the Saturdays, shit like that, you're going during the week, up in the weekdays. So you're actually being around less people and keeping your distance and things like that. And also, when it comes to loneliness, the definition can vary per person on what loneliness is. Because you can be lonely in a room full of people too, because I've been there. So, like, what is the definition of, and I'm trying to find like, what are your criteria of what you're considering loneliness?
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much said it all. I don't really have anything to add to that. That's basically the whole point. So it's also interesting just that, talking about dating and talking about loneliness. And one thing he did say that I didn't bring up was it's loneliness. He said loneliness is more than just a bad feeling, and that it's also it harms individual and societal health. It's associated with a greater risk for cardiovascular disease, dementia, stroke, depression, anxiety, and premature death. So
well, damn,
it's
I didn't
not
know
just that's why he says like 15 cigarettes. Like it's not just
that.
we're mocking you or we're trying to make you feel bad for not being around people, some mental health situation, but also just think about the things you do when you see other people. You're out and about moving and doing stuff.
Yeah, and loneliness and depression kind of go, not for everybody, but it can go hand in hand, because when a lot of people are depressed, they actually separate themselves. They actually do a lot of the things that kind of separate themselves, which in turn causes forms of loneliness.
Right. Speaking of 15 cigarettes a day, Juul, Juul, has to pay $462 million to settle underage vaping lawsuits with 6 states and Washington, D.C.
Yeah, because they were targeting that shit towards children. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they should. All the flavors and all that shit, they were targeting it towards children.
Yeah, them e-cigs, dog. It's no joke.
Yeah, and a lot of these strains now and things like that, a lot of them would not be surprising if they're even more addictive than tobacco, because a lot of them are like man-made, which means they've actually done the studies and mapped your brains and see what excites your brains, and they got drugs that like, let's specifically go to those things that keep you on these highs.
Speaking of targeting kids, damn, I'm on one day. Y'all gonna go back and go to these segues.
You're on
a
roll.
Fuck, he was killing it that day. Speaking of targeting kids, police are playing a dangerous game. Students are playing a dangerous game. What the fuck? According to police. Sorry, I had the article to play for y'all. But apparently these kids have been out here fucking around, and the police are trying to keep them from finding out.
What's happening?
And I don't blame them on that. This is what's happening. Boom. Turn the volume back up and go to the beginning.
After taking a break because of COVID, the Cannonsburg police chief tells me Canon-Mac seniors have brought back the popular game Assassins, and we're hearing it's happening in other communities too. But the chief says students don't realize they're actually putting themselves in danger.
While the game itself is innocent in nature, or designed to be innocent in nature, it's only as good as the kids that follow the rules.
Assassins is essentially like tag, but using Nerf or water guns, and teams are assigned targets to assassinate. Cannonsburg Police Chief Alexander Coghill says it's not all fun and games. There's now concern someone is going to get seriously hurt.
Most recently, we have had a kid on a tree outline, where we got a call of a person with a firearm, and that person was hiding in the woods under brush, and he was participating in the Assassins game.
Coghill says it ended up being a water gun, but the caller didn't know that. On top of trespassing, the chief says students have taken the game to other extremes, like sticking GPSs on cars. A Twitter page created by Canon-Mac students announced the start of their Assassins game last month. The Canon Crazies shared rules to its page, including zero play on school property and hunting only from dusk to dawn.
In this day and age, it is certainly an activity I would not engage in, because even though it's they're not allowed on school property, most business owners don't want them in their parking lots, don't want them in the business. Homeowners certainly don't want them on their property, which really limits their field.
The Cannon-McMillan School District recently sent this message to parents, saying the Assassins game is not supported or approved by the school. The school sent me a statement saying, in part, if anything goes wrong, high school administrators will contact them to shut it all down. The kids have to spray each other.
If anything goes wrong? Now, why would you wait till something went wrong? Because this is America, Jack. What could go wrong in this is guns. It's like real guns, not water guns. Someone ain't gonna be playing the game. Somebody gonna think you got a real gun. Police might show up. This gotta be some white people shit.
Yeah.
I hope there are no black kids playing this game. Tamir Rice died because of shit like this. You know what I mean? This is insane to me.
With water. They were educated on all safety concerns and potential charges if anything goes wrong.
A lot of things seem like fun, and when you're young, you don't have the life experience. From our profession, accidents happen very easily, and a lot of times they're deadly accidents.
The chief added students could face charges, including trespassing. Reporting from Cannonsburg.
In our country, you can't play like this. Like maybe you can do this shit in France or somewhere where they ain't got a whole lot of guns, and when they see a gun, they assume it's a fucking Nerf gun.
Right.
In America, Jack, where people shooting up schools on the daily, Who play like this?
Yeah, this sounds like just a stupid idea altogether.
Insanely stupid idea. Oh my god. Oh my
All
god.
you asking to get hurt, all you particularly on school grounds, all you asking is a lawsuit, all you actually you hit the wrong person. Like it can become all types of problems.
Oh my goodness.
All you need is for somebody to get angry, mad.
Yeah, you could
upset.
actually just slip on the water and be suing the school.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna wait till something goes wrong. Why would wow just oh wow that is that I'm sorry guys. I'm speechless. I'm speechless at how fucking stupid this is, and hope we don't have to do an update one day of like, oh yeah, remember that game they was playing, Assassins? One of them kids got killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh my goodness, that is insane. White people, boy, play too much. All right, let's go to fucking with black people.
25, 50, 75, 100. How much is you fuck with? How much is you fuck with?
Death by 1,000 cuts, microaggressions, gaslighting, dog whistles, manic depression. Work twice as hard no matter how high the bar is. I give it 100, now fuck it, Dracarys.
25, 50, 75, 100. How much is you fuck with? How much is you fuck with?
Oh man. Former UK athletics director's racist comment about black runners resurfaces. So his name is Julian Starkey. He made this comment in November 2022 at the Sporting Equals leadership event. The investigation from the UK athletics disciplinary panel found his comments came upon being asked about the drop in participation among black and brown athletes. Allegedly, he responded with a rather ignorant answer. Usually, when athletes start to be more specific in events, most black athletes tend to edge towards sprinting and hurdling. The blacks are all good at running because they have to get away from their burglaries. The disciplinary panel wasn't going for any of that, and they banned him for 3 years. From holding an official position in either organization. The disciplinary panel said they felt that holding a position in the governance structures of the national bodies was a higher position and people in the sport should rightfully look up to the people in those positions. It was therefore concluded that a 2-year exclusion was too lenient when considering the severity of the misconduct. He accepted that he was suffering from mental health problems, but did not believe that this mitigated against the conduct. He had behaved in a manner which England athletics considered disgraceful. In his written decision, the panel said the comment was a serious act of misconduct and was totally unacceptable, even taking into account his mental health. The comment was shocking. He resigned from his non-executive roles a month after he made that ugly joke and has since had his UK athletics coach and official license revoked for 2 years, per the Telegraph. His membership at England Athletics was also suspended for 6 months, and he was given a warning about his serious misconduct. Oh, a warning. He has to complete diversity training to reapply for his membership. Karen, 0 to 100.
I'm going to give this you know what? I'm gonna give it 100. Just for the simple fact that, and this is for the children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. You're over children and you're making these decisions. So you're telling people how you feel about the black athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, all jokes aside, and it's one of those things where I don't think it's long enough. Like, you shouldn't actually be allowed to be over it, period. Like, you just need to be just kicked off a band. Because, like, the position is too important for somebody to feel like that. Yeah, okay. But how do I know, not trying to be funny, that you still aren't harboring these things and you just did this shit just so you can get your fucking job back?
Yeah, I do. I'll give it a 75 because I do appreciate the punitive actions of the governing bodies to not only suspend them for 2 years, but then to suspend them for 3, to be like, no, this is worse than a normal suspension. Your ass can't be here. And then, of course, the ones that slacked and gave them like 6 months or whatever. I don't know what the rules are there, but I will say this, though. Also, pretty good racism. Like, it's an oldie but goodie. The blacks run fast because we commit crimes is
You might as well say we have them fast twist muscles.
Yeah, haven't heard that one in a while. So
we're in the Wayback Machine.
We appreciate the classics over here. So that's another reason it's only 75 for me. Isaiah, and I don't care that he's from the UK. He gets a southern accent. Isaiah Washington, you may know him.
The actor, right?
The actor.
Okay.
Praises his high school teachers who were Klan members. Yeah, he's also a Klan. Actor Isaiah Washington said he had some of the best elementary school teachers who he knew were Klan members. There's a post he made on social media. And the post, I'll show y'all the post. The post is literally a picture of like the Klan. Now, I don't know if these were his teachers or just a picture of the Klan. Like, first of all, it's the Klan women.
What?
Old Klan woman, a young Klan woman, and then a baby. Little baby. Look at that adorable little baby Klan member.
I know.
His caption says, I had some of the best elementary school teachers and even some neighbors that I knew were Klan members back in Texas while growing up. I knew where they stood with me, and they also knew where I stood with them. Not together. The boundaries were very, very clear. And
separate but together.
The boundaries are very, very clear, and I still played with their kids. I just couldn't drink from their outside water hose or come inside their house to eat their houses, and their houses were usually much smaller than what I grew up in. My mother never refused to let the kids into our house or eat at summer lunch and drink from our vintage JFK water glasses. I can't help but wonder today if their kids are vigorously supporting me as an actor today simply because I showed them love and respect as a true Texan and a true American, even when their parents and grandparents forbid them to reciprocate it publicly. I wonder. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say
I am so confused.
He said, was it the photo I posted? Instagram is the only social media platform that I've had that has removed this verbiage and the two women Klansmen and the baby Klansmen. Instagram can't handle the truth of my life.
What?
There you go, Karen. Isaiah Washington, 0 to 100.
I'm going to give it a 25 because I actually don't give a fuck. But I'm going to give it 25 because just a little annoying, just a tidbit annoying, like, but I actually don't care.
This nigga is crazy. How do he keep getting jobs?
Yes.
Like, and they don't just be any jobs. It be jobs where black people be on the set with him. I don't know how, like, he just seemed like a wild boy. And I mean, I'm sure in his mind, he'll say he's been canceled or something or whatever the fuck, but it seemed like
getting jobs.
Yeah, it don't seem like he that damn canceled. Like, you seem to be doing okay.
Every time I turn around, he on a show somewhere.
Man, he is a wild dude, man. What the fuck? He must be kind of like Nick Cannon, where like white people don't know who he really is.
Right, they don't really follow the shit.
They just be like, yeah, give him a job. He's a good actor. But he's on P Valley. Wow. I mean, don't black people run that show? I guess he just like that crazy uncle you don't talk to.
Yeah, we just okay. We let him do his thing, and okay.
Maybe he's playing a villain. That's what acting is, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I give him a Dracarys. I just think every time I see his name, he's just one of the perennial black all-stars that I see his name. I know he said some dumb shit. I know he probably looks dumb, getting owned on social media by people. And it's not even that what he said this time was that bad or even any worse than what he normally says. It's just every time I see his name, I'll be like, here we go. And that's enough for me. He's on the permanent Hall of Fame. Lastly, white woman who lied about Emmett Till encounter dead at 88. Twitter says, good riddance. Yeah, I think y'all know how we feel.
Ain't whatever in a long time.
We ain't gotta monetize this one on YouTube. Fuck it. Keep the money. You know it's bad. Viola Davis on her Instagram said, gone too late.
Oh
And
no.
Viola Davis don't really be.
She don't. Yeah.
She just be out there doing like, and she be out there doing like a white woman's Instagram. If you go on her page,
a white woman Instagram.
Yeah, Carolyn Bryant Donham. He died from cancer. 70 years after she accused Emmett Till. Now, I also saw an account, and I don't know how valid this account was. Could be fake troll account. It had paid for Twitter, which immediately made me be like, might not be a human being. But it was supposed to be a black woman at this account, and she was writing a long defense of Carolyn Bryant Donham. And I understand the context of all of it. I really do. I've looked into her, life sometimes and how that incident played out. And, to some extent, she could be a victim of domestic abuse and all that stuff, as well as the person that let an innocent black kid get killed by these men and that went in court and lied for these men. So, yeah, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for that. I think that's fucked up. But yeah, she died 0 to 100.
Oh, 0. I don't.
Yeah, it's 0 for me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of these gonna be 0, Cam.
Okay.
They don't have to be
okay. I'm like, it's 0. I don't care.
Okay. It just proves that we're a good show. We know what we're doing, and we we're out here paying attention to the stories. We don't just say 100 for everything.
No.
I felt 0 fuck with she was dead.
Same.
It's about motherfucking time. Boy, that took too long. Dead man. Evil people be getting 3rd, 4th chance. Good people just die.
And they don't get to come back.
Like, fuck, man. Like, anyway, I'm not gonna say no names. I was about to say somebody's name just now. But I will say this though, as a good person, I've never heard nothing but good things about this person. Right before breaking news, right as we were on the air, I saw it on my phone. Jamie Foxx just said thank you to everybody for their concern and stuff, because he's been in the hospital for 3 weeks. You haven't heard about this?
I heard about.
Okay, I was gonna say it's pretty big news. He had a medical emergency. They haven't been.
Okay, but I had no details about it. Right.
Who knows? It could be anything. I think. But he's alive and he's thanking people for their concern and their thoughts and prayers. So, little good news that don't fuck with you. Very talented dude.
That one get a 0 too. I'm not fuck with it.
Yeah, I didn't even think it was a racial angle on that, but yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into some guess the race, and then we're gonna wrap it up, guys. This time for guess the race. 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 Suspect caught with bag of heroin claimed it was actually chili powder from Guatemala.
Chili powder ain't white.
Did you hear that too? That was weird.
You heard that too? I heard that too. That.
Oh, it's not like an ear. It's like I'm hearing you again.
Well, I'm muted.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's fine. I'm just tripping.
Yeah, I heard something too.
All right. 1, 2, 3. You hear it?
I heard that. Yes.
Where is that sound coming from? Is your computer speaker not muted?
That not muted?
Guys, this is what I'm dealing with here.
Professionals.
An hour and 3 minutes into the show, ruined. This is some fire starter stuff.
Is it going now?
You gonna start speaking from the future in a second? Yes. It's fixed, guys. Now that we have 15 minutes left in the show. Yay.
I'm a professional, y'all.
We only do the same thing every time. After being
caught, I'm muted. What's happening?
After being caught with a bag of heroin, a drug suspect told cops that his family sent it to him from Guatemala and that he thought it was chili powder.
We don't believe you.
Police say Daniel Asensio Barrera, 34, was pulled over Thursday evening as he drove in Clearwater, Florida. Asensio Barrera was initially arrested for driving with a permanently revoked license. You know, part of me always feels like, man, if you got heroin on you, why are you driving knowing you got a permanently revoked license? But I've realized I'm answering the question within the question. If you're the kind of person that keep that heroin on you, you probably make some decisions. Sometimes it's just not, you know.
That is not on top of your list to be sure that your license don't get revoked. And it be small stuff: tail light, expired tag, bad registration. It be shit like that.
Yeah. During a subsequent search of his car, they found a large clear bag containing 29.7 gram mixture that field tested positive for heroin. After being read his Miranda rights, which one of them, you can stay silent, he stated that his family sent it to him from Guatemala and that he thought it was chili powder. First of all, that chili was about to be off the hook. You was going to win the chili fair contest.
Come on, they were going to tear that shit up.
At the state fair, at the church, wherever he was making some chili, boy.
Everybody's about to be fucked up.
He was going to sell out. You think he was going to make the itis look like nothing. He was going to make the itis look like insomnia, the way he was going to be putting people to sleep.
And then guess what? And if his family really sent it to him, they're like, no, why am I in it? I'm at home.
Damn, this some good ass chili, boy. Make my lips numb and I want to just lay down right here.
I can't feel the left side of my face, but I can't stop eating.
Yeah, god damn, man. I'll suck your dick for some more of that chili. Oh, man, you want to buy a VCR? Give me some of that chili.
I feel my left foot is twitching, but yeah, I take another piece of that chili powder.
I got a needle. Can you put some of that chili in this needle? I just want to put it straight in my veins. It's so goddamn good. Damn, this shit's delicious. Along with
all of a sudden, I got a TV. Would you like to buy my TV for some more of that?
Along with the driving count, Arsenio Barrera was charged with a narcotics trafficking rap. The combined bond for both felonies is $55,000. He's also facing a probation violation charge related to a prior DUI conviction. Additionally, a detainer has also been lodged by immigration and customs enforcement officials against him. So guess the race.
What's his name?
His name is Daniel Arsenio Barrera.
White.
Karen's going white. Let's check the chat room. He's a spicy Latino with that chili powder. Powdered his itis for the cook-off Latino.
You know what? I'm gonna go Latino too because he claimed his family sent it to him and it was probably from Mexico.
Okay, well it was Guatemala, but yeah. Wetback Latino, back slightly wet. He is Hispanic. Half of Clearwater is Hispanic. Also from Snowfall Latino. The correct answer, all these races said the same thing, including Karen. And you're right, he's Latino. Him right there. Oh man. That's a good excuse though. That's a new one. Chili powder. All right, let's go to the next one. How about 7 men were arrested for robbing truckers, rest stop visitors of thousands in cash and jewelry.
Oh no!
7 men are behind bars after police say they stole thousands of dollars in cash and jewelry and other belongings from truck drivers and rest stop visitors.
Damn, you can't even be at the rest stop in peace?
I guess not.
What up there, the buckets?
Counties is over tonight. Police say travelers were targeted and robbed at rest stops along the PA Turnpike. The thieves are accused of nabbing more than $20,000 in cash and jewelry and more. Channel 11's Andrew Havranek is in New Stanton with this story.
Police say 7 men, mostly from Cincinnati, Ohio, were involved in a multi-county rest stop robbery spree that targeted truckers and visitors to rest stops all across Pennsylvania highways. The New Stanton rest stop here along the Pennsylvania Turnpike is just one of the places those 7 men were arrested.
First of all, rest stops are rest stops are kind of like the airplane bathroom of life, right? Of the highway. You don't normally want to stop at a rest stop. You have to.
Yeah, because
and on top of that, you getting robbed?
Yeah, somebody got to pee. Somebody got to stretch their legs. Like, it's something behind the driver done got tired, so they want to
There's always
rest.
some type of weird thing happening at every rest stop in America. I don't know what, but it's just it's something weird. It's where they caught the fucking DC snipers. I remember one time we got off at a rest stop and I seen the biggest mouth I ever seen in my motherfucking life. It looked like Godzilla was gonna come out and fight that damn thing. It was just out of nowhere. It's just random and weird. It's big as a bird. It's shit is crazy.
Alexandra Brasino is no stranger to driving the turnpike.
I've hit the stressed areas, at least probably all of them one time on the way here and back.
She made a stop at the New Stanton rest stop Thursday afternoon, just a day after police pulled over a minivan carrying suspects in a multi-county rest stop robbery ring.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's shocking, but not shocking. I guess people have to be more diligent about their surroundings. You can't take anything for granted.
According to court documents, state police believe the robbery started at the Welcome Center on I-70 in Donville Tuesday, where one man from Canada was robbed several $100s. About an hour later, police say they stopped at the Flying J in South Huntington. There, police say the men pulled a lottery scam, claiming they were handing out cash. Instead, police say they took off with more than $300 and 11 rings worth $42,000. Then police say the men pulled the lottery scheme again at the South Somerset Plaza,
what pimp
stealing
did they steal from?
$1,000 in cash.
What pimp did they steal from? 7 rings and that much money?
Maybe they stole it from Robert Ory. Maybe he has 7 rings.
Cash and another $24,000 in rings and a necklace ripped from a woman's neck. An alert was issued when they were spotted near Harrisburg on Wednesday. Troopers on the turnpike spotted 3 suspected cars and were able to pull them over at 3 different spots in the Westmoreland County area, including the New Stanton rest stop. Robert Murphy, Adam Smith, Robert Chandler, Danny Williams, John Black, Daryl Knoll, and Wendell Compton are all behind bars in Westmoreland County being held without bond.
All right, Karen, guess the race.
Are they all the same race?
All the same race. All 7 men.
I'm going to go white.
All right, let's check the chat room, see what they believe. They didn't get shot by truck drivers in rural truck stops. They white. I stop at the Joseph Robinette Biden rest stop in Delaware. Okay, congratulations, John. White, gypsy ass white. I couldn't cut it as a bus driver, so I started robbing white. White crimes. People stop to talk to them white. Colonizer white. Pennsylvania white. Y'all remember the 7 doors? Now we got the 7 niggas. Black. Priming while white. A pack of whites. The correct answer is white. And some of you did miss it. And I can show you their pictures.
That first face looked like I'd do it again.
Yeah, they showed all their pictures. So I'll just play the part where they showed all the pictures. Y'all can see it in the chat.
Oh, no, drugs got to be involved. They look like some drug heads.
Oh yeah, this definitely look like faces of meth.
Woo.
Yeah. Like they look like the villains from A Time to Kill.
They've had a hard ass life.
You're right. So they was out here robbing people. This is like some old West posse type of shit,
Right?
Like they should be robbing a stagecoach.
Coming up on side of a train.
Yeah. Like this is a throwback crime. 7 people that all want to do the same crime. I can't get 7 people to attend the same dinner on time.
Right?
Y'all motherfuckers doing crime. Good for y'all. All right, last one. Karen's 2 for 2.
Yay!
So let's give her the 2 for 2 treatment. Boom. Here we go.
That bitch was white. I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time.
Gold chain wearing fried chicken and
biscuit, eating monkey, big baboon, big guy, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
All right, here we go, Karen. You nervous for the third one?
A little bit.
A Lake County man is facing charges this morning, accused in an attack on a golf course. This is video released by the sheriff's office showing the arrest of Eddie Orobit at the Harbor Hills golf course over the weekend. Investigators say he got into an argument with a man he said walked onto the golf cart path, then hit the man twice with a club, including once in the head.
Well, damn.
Orobit was arrested on a charge of aggravated battery, but has since bonded out of jail. As for the victim, deputies say he was hurt so badly he had to be taken to the hospital.
Oh my goodness. Gotta say that was not a fair play.
That was par for the course. He made him see a birdie.
That's good. All right, Karen, guess the race.
White.
Karen's going white for this golfer massacre. Where are the fathers? You know what's funny though? Owns his own bus. That's what's crazy about this. Golf
Own the bus company.
Golf course white, Caddyshack white, Arnold Palmer white, golf ball white on the white crime. Where are the fathers? White. 4 white. Happy Gilmore white as hell. I guess you could say he's had enough of the club white. The correct answer is white. No, it's crazy. His favorite Ice Cube song, "We Be Clubbing."
That's good.
Yeah, that's him right there. He's probably got that golf tag, look a little brownish right there. Might want to check the DNA, the 23andMe, but still white. They also arrested him pretty nicely. Like it was just like a standard. Hey, all right, man, come on with us, get off the golf cart. You know he was mad because he was fucking playing terrible at golf. That's what's be wrong with them golfers. They be mad as shit because they not good and they gotta beat somebody up. Y'all not playing fast enough.
Just play bad like everybody else and have a good time.
Yeah. Man. What? All right, last thing, sword ratchetness. Missing mom, because this is from overseas.
Okay.
Missing mom found safe after concerned police warned public not to approach her. A search was launched for a missing woman where police said may be carrying a sword in London, with officers warning not to approach her. Good job. The Metropolitan Police issued an appeal to help find Santa, 37, who went missing from her home in Ping around 4:45 on Friday. She was last seen wearing green camouflage clothing and carrying a large camouflage rucksack. What the fuck? You going to fight Cobra? Said they were concerned with her welfare, urgently needed to trace her until they issued an update this afternoon saying she had been found. We are pleased to report that Santa, who was reported missing from Ping last night, has been found thanks to those who shared our appeal. Police statement from yesterday read, police are appeal. Okay. She may be in possession of a sword. She is last seen wearing green camouflage clothing and carrying a large camouflage rucksack. Officers have concern for Santa's welfare and Santa, not a T. I know I'm from the South.
Okay.
Santa's welfare and urgently need to trace her. If seen, do not approach Santa, but dial 999 immediately. What's interesting here is they were concerned for her well-being, and you should be concerned for the community's well-being. Like, she the one with the sword.
Yes.
Like, what? Like, y'all, we need to get her back safe. I'm like, nigga, if I see her, you don't have to worry about.
Oh, she gonna be safe.
Yeah, she gonna be real safe because I'm gonna be all the way over there.
It's me that might not be safe.
Yeah, so glad they caught her before she could harm anyone.
Same.
All right, that's it for today's show. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate y'all. Very fun, lively chat in the chat room.
Yay!
And no show tomorrow. I think tomorrow is Guardian of the Galaxy Day. Hey,
Yes, it is.
let's go make mine Marvel. If you want to hear me talk about Marvel, check out this podcast. It's called MC University. I was on it last night. The podcast is out, and it was fun. It was, so if you're nerdy like me, okay. If you're nerdy like me, it's a podcast where it's called Marvel Cinematic University. That's the official name. Okay. So this episode of the podcast, we ranked the top like 15 Avengers and Marvel MCU characters, right?
Oh, but that was fun.
And the way you had to rank it is like an all NBA team. Now it's some wacky rules, so when you listen to the show, you'll hear the rules, because I didn't really understand the rules at first, but just luckily I was able to match up my stuff to fit the rules. But I had a great time with AC and Jake, and it was just fun ranking stuff. It's called All MCU Team Selections with Rod the Blackout Tips. So check that episode out wherever you get podcasts. And I already told y'all about the Firestarter episode of Since We Last Spoke. So if you're a fan of Firestarter, check that out. So, always busy making things happen. Appreciate y'all. And we'll talk to you probably Saturday. And premium fans, we're trying to do something Friday that's a little bit different and wacky and special. It's me and Karen doing a nerd off with just us two, because it's been a while since we've done one.
Yes.
And it's just us two catching y'all up on the entertainment we've been having in the last 3 months or so.
Right.
Maybe even longer than that, since we did a nerd off. But then the nerd off will return to its regularly scheduled every third Friday starting next week.
Yes.
So we'll get back to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably means there won't be a Balls Deep this week, if I'm not mistaken, because I think Friday would be the only day we could do it. So all right, no problem. Until then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate y'all.